Well, it's happened again. It's happened again. And, but why? Why does it keep happening? That's the question of the day. Oh, I should probably reset this. Here we go. Reset that for, whoops, hang on. Whoops, what did I do there? Cancel. No. Oh, shit. Now, the technical duties that I want. Okay. Let's try this because I don't want to shut this off by accident. Anyway, I'll see if I can figure this out while you're gone. But we do also have some breaking news that I will tell you as soon as I get back from the intro, as soon as I figure out how to get back to where I was. All right, there we go. All right, I'll play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I meant to do this breaking news prior to before the show. Apparently, well, not apparently, it's official. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, has died. The Duke of Edinburgh has died at the age of 99. A statement from Buckingham Palace said, "It is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen announces the death of her beloved husband, His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. His Highness passed away peacefully this morning in Windsor Castle." They continued, the royal family joined with people around the world mourning his loss. Further announcements will be made in due course. So rest in peace, Prince Philip. Obviously, don't know the man from Adam, other than he is married to Queen Elizabeth and he got to wear cool uniforms. But for the most part, seemed, at least from my little knowledge of the crown and all that stuff, seems like a decent guy. So we mourn his passing. Interesting. He lived 99, lived a long time. So, for those who are in the British Empire, sorry to hear for your loss. If it's something that you're concerned with, and I hope you, obviously the Great Britain will go on, and so on and so forth. So okay, I was just making sure my stream didn't go crap down. So I was looking for what the F's are for. Did we have a technical problem there? Okay, looks like we're okay. Oh, F for Prince Philip. Yeah, that's not good. So anyway, all right. The stream's going just fine, right? Okay, cool. All right. So the hell? Oh, so I said something that Google decided that I shouldn't have said. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. The 9th of April, 2021. And I hope you're having a good morning. I certainly am. I made myself a nice breakfast like I do every morning. And here I am with my cup of reparations in the new Resist Fascism cup, which you can get at PDawgKnight.live. The merch, just hit the merch tab. And so anyway, whole bunch of stuff going on today. A couple quick thank yous. Thank you. Let's see, who am I thanking here? Willett Forge and Mike Savage and let's see, Jack Cochran, Justin Anderson, Becca Fairley, who have already tweeted out the show. Oh, looks like, did Mike Savage? Yeah, he did. have already retweeted my tweet or tweeted out the show themselves or sent it out on social media, if you would be so kind, hit the share arrow, which is down there somewhere, or if you're on mobile, it's over here somewhere, and share out the stream. The more the merrier. We hope that we can get this party going the right way. Also, as I do every morning, oh my gosh, already 37 people in the room. That's fantastic. By the way, if you like what we do during the show, you can hit the like button at any time, because it doesn't make you wait till the end, and I certainly would be happy if you did it earlier than later. It's great for the channel and great for your soul, so please hit that like button. Also, let's say good morning to everyone who's here. First in the chat today, who gets the bell? Well, that would be Becca Fairley. Thank you for being here early and also tweeting out the show. Also, good morning to Zach Osborne. How you doing? Also, good morning, Maddie. Maddie's here before Ronan, so Maddie gets the good morning. Also, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And good morning. Oh my gosh, all my noise people are in first. Good morning, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And good morning, Justin Anderson. Thank you again for tweeting out the show. Good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Ronan Wolf. What's happening? Avocados Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Good morning, Willett Forge. Good morning, Special K on Acid. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony, is in the house. Good morning also to James Colley, who retracted the message calling me a boomer. Maybe he learned something. I'm just kidding, James. That's fine. If you call me boomer, I am a boomer. I'm the last of the boomers. Remember that. The last of the boomers, the first Gen Xer. I am the split line. Actually, my birthday is the splitting line between boomers and Gen Xers. So I get to take both titles. Good morning, Nicole Matson. Don't drop the soap. Do you need body wash? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking to or about, but yeah. I have a big bottle of body wash in the shower. I don't know if you're talking to me anyway. Good morning also too. Johnny Bonsaco's in the house. How you doing? Good morning. Exit only. I don't know what that means. Good morning, FTW Nil. What's happening? Good morning to who else we got here? I got to scroll a little more. Good morning, Renee Mayette. Good morning. Good morning, Asan. As I scroll, hello. Who else is here? Oh, Paul Farrell's here. Mr. Scott's here. Good morning. Also, good morning, Somnambule Nation. Zablé is in the house. Broken Word, how you doing? What dis? Well, what dis is be me, dis. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Also, good morning to Why Are You So Angry? Good morning, Atheist Icon. There's a couple new names in here. I kind of like that. Tarai Deos, what's happening? I'm not angry, Big. Okay, good. I think that's Why Are You So Angry that said Why Are You So Angry. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Good morning. Who else is left? Did I miss anybody? Ann Lynn's here. Hate Camel's in the house. How you doing, my brother? Good morning, Jonas Pedersen, Sapphire Dragon. And I think I got just about everybody. Have I missed anybody yet? I don't even know. This thing's jumping now. I hope I didn't miss you. Oh, and Talik. Oi. Hello, Talik. What's happening? Zach dropped the soap. Zach, I'm not sure about that soap dropping thing. Sorry, Marty, that sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. I don't know what. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. I'm not sure what you mean. That sounds terrible, but we're all good. Good morning, and then good morning, Katie to the skate. So I'm gonna try to just keep up with that today. We'll see if I can. But holy smokes, 43 people jumping in quick. All right, let's talk about what the title means, though, because there is a whole lot of hate in this world, and I'm going to tell you a story about some hate, and I just don't get it. Why is there so much hate in the world? Oh, I got to reset this thing. Usually Gunfox reminds me if I don't do it, but there you go. Now we've reset the Superstar Donor of the Day, because there is no Superstar Donor of the Day. By the way, you could be a Superstar Donor of the Day. Just click the Streamlabs link and fill in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? And also you could do chats to do super chats. Like, share, subscribe if you're not already part of the party. And you can, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, that's possible too. The description down below will tell you how. Okay, let's get into this story though, because like I was starting to say, there's a whole lot of hate in the world, and sometimes that turns into crimes that people describe as hate crimes. And so I want to tell you a story about a hate crime that you may have already heard, but I'm going to tell it in my unique way with a series of entries that tell you about this particular crime. So lean back, get comfy, and here we go. Albion College is offering a reward. Albion College is offering a reward for information about racist graffiti. Good morning, Sean. Good morning. Someone else showed up. Was it Amy? Amy in Connecticut. How you doing, my dear? Welcome to the show. Albion College is offering a $1,000 reward. $1,000. Now, that could come in handy to a college student. This is from Michigan Live. Albion College is offering a $1,000 reward. Mr. Scott's here too. A $1,000 reward for information that could identify whoever left racist graffiti in a university building last week, the president said in a statement. Graffiti featuring racist epithets and multiple references to the Ku Klux Klan was discovered on a stairwell inside Mitchell Towers on Friday, April 2nd. University officials confirmed the racist and anti-Semitic actions taken on our campus over the last week are cowardly and will not be tolerated. Albion President Matthew Johnson said in a statement, "We are outraged and angered that this incident occurred with our community." Well, they should be. This should not happen. Period. This is awful. Awful racist graffiti and epithets. And so let's see, he continued. In addition to caring for and protecting the students most directly impacted and addressing the safety concerns of the broader student body, we are currently, and behind the graffiti are Albion students. They could face suspension or expulsion through a student conduct process. Good. I'm glad they're taking a strong stand. Okay. So this prompted a protest on Albion College because we do not want to encourage hate on college campus. You have this big parade of students out here, and now it's clearly, and it's a kind of a time lapse thing. So a whole bunch of people out there marching against hate, and that's the appropriate thing to do when you have a hate incident on a campus like this. Man, you just gotta make sure that we need to stop hate, and because there's all this hate going around. Obviously, wait a minute, April 2nd. What was happening? Oh my goodness. This is Joe Biden's America.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. This is Joe Biden's America. Hate crimes on a college campus. Awful. Good morning to, here's a new name, Always Lost on Nothing Else. Hey, fantastic. Nice to see you on the show. This is Joe Biden's America. Hate crimes where these students feel they have to demonstrate against hate in America because, but even the graduates of Albion College are getting involved. As a graduate from Albion, I can say there is racism due to elitism. In order to afford the tuition, families have to have means, and those with means and have mainly been from families of white privilege. Not all students are racist, but there will be some that will get in. Now, that's, of course, the appropriate answer to the next person, to this guy, says, you do realize you just said only white people have money. Ha! True, he did say that. But you know what? Good. They're protesting this hate on campus. And in fact, wait a minute. Good news. Good news. On April 7th, Albion College made an announcement. This is fantastic. Listen to this. Earlier today, we identified the individual responsible for the racist and anti-Semitic graffiti in Mitchell Towers. The student who was acting alone acknowledged their responsibility for these incidents. Fantastic. They caught this bastard, this racist bastard who put racist graffiti on the college campus. You shouldn't be doing that. You know, the students of color will be most affected and feel afraid and you make them feel uncomfortable at their college. They continued. They have been immediately removed from campus and placed on temporary suspension. What? Why temporary suspension? Why don't they expel this bastard? While we conduct a full investigation as part of our student judicial process. Oh, so I know why. Because they're going to give this person due process. Okay, good. That's a change. But we know the acts of racism that have occurred this week are not about one particular person or one particular incident. Huh? What? We know that there is a significant history of racial pain and trauma on campus, and we are taking action to repair our community. We will change and heal together as a community because we are committed to doing the work. Right now, we encourage all members of our community to listen, respond, and care for one another, and lean on the faculty, staff, and community members who have been gathering today to make sure we are supporting you. We have your back. Oh, such an inspirational message. Why am I out of the picture here? That's weird. How about we fix that? What the hell happened there? How'd that get moved over here? Hi there. So, good. Oh, thank you. First, let's see. Oh, okay. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. By the way, good morning. And also the original viewer of the Morning Night Live, along with Hate Camel, the second viewer of the Morning Night Live, both in the chat today. Hello, gentlemen. Johnny Hellcat's with the first sponsoring of the show today through Streamlabs. And Johnny Hellcat,
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you, sir. It says, I would hope that a time lapse or I would hope that's a time lapse or the drugs they're making for college kids have gotten way too strong. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I appreciate you sponsoring the show and always poignant. Oh, I forgot. I was going to do Funky Friday today, and I forgot to bring my little music box down here. Well, I apologize for that. We'll do that another time. I could probably do that I could do that another way. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so sounds like Albion College has the right idea, take responsibility, having some due process for the student. Because usually a hate crime, they'd probably just kick their ass out right away, right? Oh, wait a minute. Here's another article from the what's this called? The Michigan Live. A little more information. Apparently, they got more information on this hate crime. Here we go. Student responsible for racist graffiti that was found in Albion College dorm. Officials say, "Hey, that's fantastic." Let's see here. Let's read this one. Albion College and the Albion Department of Public Safety says the student responsible for racist graffiti says a student is responsible for racist graffiti found in the dorm last weekend. Well, that explains why they're having the student adjudication or whatever. Albion police brought the 21-year-old black male. What? In for questioning on April 6th. Wait a minute. Racist graffiti? The student admitted to creating most of the graffiti, and the video evidence from Albion's campus safety department confirms the statements made by the student, Kip said. So they had video evidence of him doing it? Wait a minute. Now, I got to go back here for a second. I just got to go back. In this message, the tweets from Albion College, Because I got to admit, if it's a black male writing shit about the KKK and whatever, I know there was some N-words involved. I saw some screenshots of the actual graffiti. Hang on. But you know what's missing in this Albion College statement? That this was a hoax. Did you see it? Now, let's go through this Albion College statement again, because now, is there anything in this statement that tells you that, hey, look, we identified, and it may well, a lot of you, I heard what you saying April Fools. It might have been an April Fool's joke because they found out on April 2nd. But I've got to wonder, hello, Makina Programmer, how you doing? I got to wonder, okay, why would they not tell you this was a hoax in this statement? Listen to this statement again. Is there anything in this statement by Albion College that indicates, hey, look, this racist graffiti was a hoax. We want you to feel safe. It's not someone from off campus or anything. You know, is there anything reassuring in this statement by Albion College for people who think this might be some actual racist graffiti and that should make students of color, what there's probably the euphemism they would use for black people. Is there anything in this statement by Albion College that even hints that this was not real? That you should just feel safe, not some jackass on campus out to hurt somebody? Earlier today, we identified the individual responsible for the racist and anti-Semitic graffiti in Mitchell Towers. Not yet. The student who was acting alone acknowledged their responsibility for these incidents. Not yet. They have been immediately removed from campus and placed on temporary suspension while we conduct a full investigation as part of our student judicial process. The suspect confessed, but nothing telling you this is a hoax yet. But we know the acts of racism that have occurred this week. Wait a minute. We know the acts of racism that have occurred this week. Say what? Shouldn't that say we know that this hoax, wait a minute. Maybe here's what I think they might mean. Let me finish this sentence and then I'm going to tell you, try to interpretate this. Interpretate. What the hell does that mean? Interpret what they're saying here, even though I doubt it's really what they're saying. We know that the acts of racism that have occurred this week are not about one particular person or one particular incident. No, they are about one person who admitted that they did this particular incident. The acts of racism that have occurred this week, were this guy making several messages around campus that he admitted to doing. We know there is a significant history of racial pain and trauma on campus. We are taking action to repair our community. Okay, let's go back to the act of racism that have occurred this week. Seems to me, tell me if I'm wrong, and I think someone said this in one of the responses, and I think it's probably accurate. Don't you think, because this would be labeled a hate crime, right? Or even though it's a hate hoax, what is the purpose of creating a fake hate crime? Anybody got to think of the purpose? The purpose of creating a fake hate crime, of course, clearly to make your school one of the victims again, and then you can be your entire class of students of color can now claim victim status, but I don't know. You know what I think this is? I mean, clearly there's a theme, and it's really weird to me. It's as a black person who interacts with people of all races, creeds, colors, whatever, religions, a lot, because at work and in my life. And there's this, there seems this weird obsession with blaming the world's problems on white people, white fragility, whiteness, anti-racism, whites only, though, because whites can be shit on. It almost seems like this is a hate crime more against white people if this black kid did it, because you're trying to stoke more hatred towards potential hate crime doers who would be white, right? You know what I mean? Does that make sense at all? It's just weird. And then let's go back here, though. We will change and heal together as a community because we are committed to doing work. Well, we are changing and healing from a hoax that you still haven't said in your response was a hoax. Right now, we encourage all members of our community to listen, respond, and care for one another, and lean on the faculty, staff, and community members who've been gathering today to make sure we are supporting you. We have your back. You know what they should do? One, they should expel someone for doing a hate hoax, even though I guess it wasn't a hate crime, but it kind of is anyway, right? You basically, in a way, terrorized people on your campus with this bullshit, and that doesn't matter if you're black or white or brown. I guess you can't say yellow anymore. It doesn't matter if you're black, Asian, brown. Brown is such an all encompassing one. First of all, the student should be expelled, just like they would if it were a real hate crime by a student. I saw something the other day, earlier this morning when I was at work. I was listening to something they were talking about. Oh, this person. Well, why are there so many hate crimes when Trump came into office? You mean reported hate crimes? That over 2/3 of all reported hate crimes in the first 3 years of Trump's presidency turned out to be hoaxes. So there wasn't an increase in hate crimes. They were, in fact, hate crimes were down except for the hoaxes. But it's these hoaxes almost turn into kind of a everyone hates the term reverse racism because it's just racism, but it almost turns into a reverse hate crime. Isn't that weird? And the fact that they don't, in their statement, they know on April 7th that this is a hoax because somehow Michigan Live knew it was a hoax on April 6th. When they posted this story. Albion police brought the 21-year-old black male in for questioning April 6th. They knew it was a hoax. The student was released after the questioning, Kip said. And why wasn't the kid arrested? That if it was a real hate crime, if it was a real racist graffiti, would they have arrested the white kid? And it doesn't matter who did it. It sure gave the same reaction around campus. Kip said once the investigation is complete, what investigation? He confessed to it. The information will be submitted to the Calhoun County Prosecutor's Office for any charges related to the incident. He said, okay, interesting. And I don't know if the kid probably shouldn't go to jail. It's in a way it's a victimless crime, but it should be treated as doesn't matter the race of the kid who did it. Let's treat them the same way. And I'm confident that if it were some racist white kid that they would be expelled, probably would have already been expelled because you know how that goes. The graffiti, which included racist epithets, lots of N-bombs and things like that, and multiple references to the Ku Klux Klan, was discovered in a stairwell inside Mitchell Towers on Friday, April 2nd, university officials said. Pictures of the graffiti were posted by City Watch News on its Facebook page. You can click that link. By the way, remember every article I go through and everything I do will be in a link in the description down below. One tab will have all the links to everything we go through today, so including the tweets and whatnot. So it'll all be there. So if you want to see what the actual graffiti looks like, you can click on the Facebook link in this article. In a series of tweets Wednesday evening, April 7th, college officials said the student was acting alone and acknowledged responsibility for the incidents. The student was immediately removed from campus and placed on temporary suspension while the college conducts a full investigation. How long will that take? As part of its student judicial process, college officials said. And then they just recap on the tweets. So, yeah. I saw a few people mentioning Jussie Smollett in the in the chat, and yeah, I guess we got another wannabe Jussie. I say Jussie Smollett. Anyway, hello, Hyman Lyman. Hello, Check Your Logic. Yes, we did just talk about Prince Philip. Again, rest in peace, Prince Philip. Even though he really, we're not a colony anymore, so normally we don't care. But you know what? He's he's a peripheral world leader, kind of, sort of, whatever. Hate crime shouldn't exist. A crime is a crime. Adding hate to it allows people to punish only those they consider offenders. Yeah, true, Deus. But here, okay, so here's the thing. In a very mild sense, I could see, I don't know. Is there, what would the punishment if graffiti, racist graffiti, is it considered threats? What is it considered? I mean, that's the only kind of thing that I could see being as, I would say a hate incident. I don't know if it's a hate crime, but it's certainly a hate incident. But yeah, as far as people being assaulted or people being ended, I don't know the significance of adding the word hate to the in front of crime. I don't give a shit about their motivation. If someone commits a crime against you, you definitely want them to be punished, right? So anyway, all right, let's move on. Good morning, Uncle Stepdad, who's in the hizzo. Good morning. The only person surprised Philip died was Philip himself, and that wasn't because it took so long. Yeah, he's an old man. I wonder if I don't. Someone says, I wonder if, the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle thing helped him closer to his demise, his broken heart of losing a grandchild and whatever. So, all right. So let's see. What was I going to do? There was something I was going to stop and do before I went on, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what I do. I have to edit this. Did I do this yet? I did not. Okay, so anyway, again, just a reminder. Let me do this real quick. And in the links, there'll be a link in the description below. One link that will have all the different articles linked through hyperlinks for everything we cover in the show today, like I do every day, but usually by the end of the outro. So if you're hanging around in the outro, I usually tell you when the link has been updated. Otherwise, you can come back to the description later, or you can find it on the Discord server where I post every episode in the main general tab. All right, let's talk about baseball. Now, I know probably some of you want me to talk about Joe Biden and his little announcement today of his executive order, whatever they had, that little presser thing they did which was ridiculous. And I might if I have some time at the end. But we already talked about that yesterday. We knew what he was going to come out and say, although I didn't realize that Joe Biden was going to say that the Constitution is an absolute. I'm not sure he meant. Oh, one funny thing he did say, this is the one part that I'm going to throw out from yesterday. When they wrote the Second Amendment, that it didn't include any kinds of arms. That is completely false. Do you know when when they ratified the Constitution of the United States of America and they had that Second Amendment thing in there? That included just about any kind of weapon that you could have. So, I mean, it wasn't just muzzle-loading muskets and, single-shot pistols. It was not. In fact, there were a lot of people who did commercial shipping who owned cannons, actual cannons, that they would use to fight off pirates. Any kind of technology, any kind of weapon you could have had, you were allowed to have. There wasn't, because there wasn't a whole lot of, technological. You could have, explosive bayonets, of course, too. Yes, Nicole, correct. But pretty much anything that was a weapon, you could have had. So, all right, before we move on, if you're here today, and you're still here, because there's like a 58 of you, and you like what we're doing, how about we do that simultaneous like right now? At the count of 3, hit the like button and we'll see if it jumps. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hit the like button. We'll just see if that number starts going up here. I'll just wait a few seconds because there is a bit of a lag, and because nobody, not me. What's happening? Cannons, hand grenades. Did they have hand grenades? I didn't even know they had hand grenades back then. They probably had some kind of bomb you could throw. Anyway, thank you. Also, by the way, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for sponsoring the show. And Johnny Hellcat, you are still
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Okay, so you're not the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day, but you are still the Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Thank you with the 357. How appropriate as we're talking about the Second Amendment. Thank you. A friend of mine always talks about white fragility.
That's racist!
I asked her what the hell this Albion College incident is. Silence. Yeah, I gotta tell you, ask anybody about that. Will it forge every time a gun control advocate starts with, when they wrote the Second Amendment, end quote, they're about to say something demonstrably false about and clueless. Oh, hell yeah, ain't that the truth? Zablé, you've shot a cannon before? Wow, that had to be kind of cool. A real cannon? I've seen people. Have you ever seen those like pumpkin cannons? Is that what they are? Or they not? Maybe it's not. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I know I've seen the pumpkin catapult things. Those are kind of cool. Anyway, always lost on nothing else. If you are new to the show, what is Army mateys? R1622. I don't know what all those numbers are, but if you know, subscribe to the channel if you like it here. Also, good morning, Jaded Emerald. How you doing? Alrighty then, let's move on. So remember the old when Major League Baseball was making a decision about their All-Star game, and the lovely and talented Stacey Abrams said that she really didn't think Major League Baseball should have left, Atlanta, because it's going to hurt a bunch of black businesses and things like that. It's going to hurt a lot because there's a lot of black businesses. 30 or 40% of all businesses in Atlanta are owned by black people because it's a very, it's a black centric city, even though they're not a majority, but they're, it's probably a high concentration of black people in Atlanta. A lot of them are businessmen, a lot of middle-class blacks, and, people who doing some things, they got businesses and they, you know the thing.
You know the thing.
And, so in Major League Baseball is going to leave Atlanta taking its $100 million of, economic activity and taking it to lily white Denver. Stacey Abrams was like, oh, you know who Stacey Abrams is. Stacey Abrams was like, oh, no, I didn't really want them to go. I don't think they should leave Atlanta. And, they probably shouldn't go. Well, sources claim they know who convinced Major League Baseball commissioner, the Major League Baseball commissioner, to relocate the All-Star game. Oh, well, good. Now Stacey Abrams knows who to blame, right? She knows who to. What the hell happened here? Okay, Stacey Abrams knows who to blame for baseball leaving Atlanta because she did not want them to leave. In the wake of Major League Baseball relocating the All-Star Game, almost everyone who is calling for such a move has been backtracking, including Joe Biden. I mean, even Joe Biden is like backtracking, and even Stacey Abrams, who was a major voice against the recently passed election law that Democrats have been making several false claims about. Oh, you number your comments. Okay, cool. I was wondering what that was. Okay. Thank you. Always lost on nothing else. I'm going to have to find a better name because that's a lot to come out of my lips. I have trouble talking already. I don't know if I can say that every time. I might just call you Always or Always Lost or Lost. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll have a nice little shortened name for you. Okay, but now sources say I should just hide this for a second. I'm going to hide this so you can't read it before I say it. Sources say that Stacey Abrams was the one who convinced Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred to move the All-Star Game. Yeah. Scoop. Major League sources say owners were blindsided at least by the timing of Rob Manfred's decision to pull the All-Star Game from Atlanta. Also said the decision came after speaking with Stacey Abrams, which is odd since she now has said she's against the boycott. Story developing. The decision to relocate the All-Star Game from Atlanta will cost Georgia over $100 million, adding insult to injury. The game will be played in Denver, which, as Brian Preston pointed out, is one of the whitest major cities in America, with only 9% of its population being black. Atlanta is 52% black, meaning that Major League Baseball's decision directly hurts black residents and black-owned businesses. Yes, black people are most affected. This is, however, a conflicting report from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that claims Abrams actually strongly urged Major League Baseball to keep the game in Atlanta, but this was contradicted by her own actions prior to MLB's decision. So here, this is someone named Greg Bluestein. I'm told that Stacey Abrams spoke to Major League Baseball senior advisor and strongly urged the league to keep the All-Star Game in Atlanta. Well, wait a minute. How could that be? Do you think that Major League Baseball, if Stacey Abrams was strongly urging them to keep the game in Atlanta, that they would leave? Stacey Abrams, the governor of Georgia, at least in her mind, if Stacey Abrams told them to stay, they probably would have stayed, right? Now Major League Baseball is desperately trying to contain the backlash from their decision, also hearing that Major League Baseball is working on a possible solution to after criticism that moving the All-Star Game out of Atlanta will be devastating to minority businesses, and we'll address that as well. Oh, good Lord. Well, now let's dig a little more. I have another thing here. This is from Twitchy. Did Fu write this? No, Fu didn't write this. Anyway, concerned Atlanta journal scoop that Stacey Abrams' involvement in Major League Baseball All-Star Game decision sounds like a lot of panic damage control. Well, it kind of does. A few days ago, failed Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams expressed disappointment at the Major League Baseball's Major League Baseball's decision to relocate this year's All-Star Game from Atlanta to Denver. Today, a scoop from Atlanta Journal-Constitution political reporter Greg Bluestein may shed some more light on how Abrams has been feeling about the whole thing. So the same articles there per source. Now it says he changed it. MLB Stacey Abrams didn't talk to Commissioner Rob Manfred, but she did talk to senior league officials before the announcement was made. In that conversation, she reiterated her position opposing boycotts, as she had said publicly the day before. But then, wait a minute, but she opposes She opposes boycotts. But then he's told that when she spoke to a Major League Baseball senior advisor, strongly urged the league to keep the All-Star game. Okay, wait a minute. Opposes boycotts? Well, wait a minute. Here is another article. Oops, sorry. Stacey Abrams. Now, this is Stacey Abrams talking. Stacey Abrams says corporate America cannot be silent on voting restrictions. So she's still lying about the voting restrictions. Stacey Abrams said there should be a hue and cry from business leaders in opposition to far-reaching proposed voting restrictions in Georgia and other states instead of the more guarded response from corporate titans in the weeks since the measures were first introduced. The Georgia Democrat called on athletes and other activists to demand that businesses more forcefully speak out against restrictive proposals such as Georgia's measures that would severely limit who could vote by mail. No, it doesn't limit who can vote by mail at all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I gotta have an ID. Oh my God, how many Georgians don't have IDs, and how easily you would be able to get IDs if you really didn't have one? And how do you get through life without an ID? I still haven't figured that out. There were businesses that were silent in this election for whatever reason, but there should be no silence from the business community when anyone in power is trying to strip away the right to vote from the people. They're not. Good morning, irate prostate. They're not, but she said, on a call Tuesday organized by Fair Fight Action and More Than a Vote, two prominent voting rights organizations, there should be hue and cry. So wait a minute. So she Major League Baseball is a business, right? It is a business. Last time we checked, Stacey Abrams was pretty unequivocal in her commitment to punishing anyone who doesn't subscribe to her political point of view. So what's this business about her strongly urging the Major League Baseball to keep the game in Atlanta? Something doesn't quite add up. See, maybe she wasn't so much disappointed that that Major League Baseball, why did she keep saying the MLB, that Major League Baseball made a purely political decision, as she was worried about how that purely political decision could come back to bite her in the ass. Did I say that too loud? I don't know. Or maybe brave firefighter Greg Bluestein is worried about how it could come back to bite her. I just said that. Or maybe both of them are I get it. Bluestein, the writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. See, he originally wrote the article, he wrote the tweet saying that they made his decision after she talked to Major League Baseball senior officials. And then he backtracked on it, saying, oh no, they said that she didn't want to do it. Bullshit. He's a journalist. Democratic activist. He's a journalist helping covering her ass, maybe? Did I say cover her ass? I don't know what I said. It didn't come out my mouth the way I meant it to. Anyway, or maybe both of them are worried about how it would come back to bite her in the ass. Yeah, either she thinks that or he thinks that or they both think that. In any event, don't be surprised if it comes back to bite her in the ass. Replied to Bluestein, don't blame me. Amazing. Cover your ass. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. I'm told Stacey Abrams is worried about the effect of encouraging boycotts of her own state and will have on future elections. Oh, you think? Please don't boycott my Jim Crow state at the behest of my party's president, who echoed wildly demagogic and dishonest rhetoric. I want to win an election here. These are just interpretations of her backtracking on this. So anyway, if you want to see that, I'll leave that one open too. And then what was this? Oh, and then of course Jake Tapeworm, whatever you want to call him, had a little tweet about this, and I'm going to help interpret this as we go along. This is not original. Someone else did this, but anyway. So Jake Tapper decides to tweet about it. Lost amid the criticism of Major League Baseball moving the All-Star game from Georgia to protest the state's new voting laws are some simple facts about what would have likely happened had Major League Baseball not done so. An informed source tells, this is CNN. Okay, let me interpret that. See, if Major League Baseball wouldn't have moved from Atlanta, see, the media pundits like Jake Tapper would have done story after story questioning why they haven't already moved for the game. See, that's how that works. He continues, Major League Baseball made the decision because if they didn't, then the decision will be left to individual players, individual all-stars, some of whom no doubt would have individually boycotted the games themselves. Would they now? In short, there was no way to avoid this becoming political. Oh, really? Really? Yeah. How about a big fat sign that says, none your business? That would have been, Number 3, now here's the good one. If Major League Baseball hadn't acted, individual players would certainly have been asked from now until July whether they were boycotting or not. Really? Who would have asked them that question? I should have the Jeopardy theme set up here. Who would have asked them that question, Jake Tapper? Yeah, who would have been harassing players about why they haven't boycotted yet? Oh my gosh, could it be Jake Tapper and his fellow profession mates? Yes, if the players hadn't let me interpret this again. If MLB hadn't acted, the individual players would certainly have been asked from now until July whether they were boycotting or not. Here's the interpretation. Here's what this really says. If MLB hadn't acted, we would be harassing the players from now until the cows come home, until they relented and decided to boycott the game, because we would ask them every time they came out in the field for a post-game interview. Yes, the media would be pushing this narrative that this is the new Jim Crow, which is not the new Jim Crow. It's nothing like Jim Crow. It doesn't even hint of Jim Crow, but we would keep making sure that every baseball player that we see gets a question about why they aren't boycotting Jim Crow Atlanta. Oh, these would just be the all-stars though. But we might even harass the other players too. That's the interpretation of that sentence. Then he continues, so Major League Baseball did what they thought was taking one for the team, as it were trying to protect the individual players and to operate as cohesive whole source. The single source tells, this is CNN. And they're getting praise they got praise from this former player who praised them, and then they had a Players Alliance. We stand in support of the decision to move the 21 All-Star game to the whitest city in America that has a baseball team, Denver. Oh, all you Atlanta black businesses can take a flying leap, right? Anyway, all right, let me do a couple more thank yous here, because it looks like some people were tweeting out the show. I already got Manny Sean DW. Thank you so much for retweeting. RVA Dar, Hate Camel, TOS. That's me saying goodbye to the Duke of Edinburgh. Thank you, Ranting Monkey, Tyler F, Renee Mayette, Hate Camel, Johnny Bonsaco, and Willett Forge, who I've already mentioned. I appreciate you guys retweeting and promoting the show as much as you can. I'm growing slowly, very slowly but surely, but we'll get there. Here's the thing. I got to figure out. I said I'm going to start doing smaller clips of shows I've already done, and I'm going to start making more videos. As soon as I get this the damn standby thing done. I went out yesterday. Okay, so I still got the snow standby thing going. I finally did get the new outro done, right? So I went out yesterday. I was gonna do take some footage and B-roll kind of stuff to make a new standby video, because I didn't want to take clips from other people on YouTube like I did for the snow scene one, although some of those snow scenes were mine, some were from other people. And I go out yesterday and I got a couple cool shots. I got one shot of a bird, in a reed patch warbling and puffing up and stuff, and just some other stuff, some dogs in slow motion. But then it started raining and I'm like, God, this is the only time I have to do this, and it starts raining. But I have a whole weekend now. So if I don't have a new standby video by Monday, you can all... I don't know what you can do. You can kick my ass if you can find your way through the little camera thing there. So there you go. All right, let's move on. Oh, by the way, if it was, if it was Thursday, you know what I'd be doing right now? FTG MLB. All right, let's keep going. This is, let's see. Oh, this is the same story. I have another story open up, but we don't need to talk about that anymore. All right, I didn't realize I'm still on, that should be on me. Let's talk about the border crisis. This is an interesting story / take. Good morning, Asia Research Directorate, TARD. Good morning, TARD. TARD is in the house. I said that acronym cracks me up. I don't think you intended that to be the acronym, but that's what the acronym is, TARD. And good morning, Scotty Dubs. So you'll have to let me know if that annoys you or if you just think it's funny. If you think it's funny, I'm going to keep using it. If you think it's annoying, I will not use it. Mostly not use it. So let's talk about the border, because remember when so we started getting this surge, which some people are saying the term surge is racist. I don't know. Fuck. Everything is racist.
That's racist!
But they were saying that remember the Biden administration and all the newspapers like the Washington Post and all these people are saying, well, here, I can show you an example. Where is this? I thought I had the Washington Post article up here. No, I don't. I thought I did. Never mind. So remember when they said the surge of migrants that are coming to the country? Jen Psaki said this, the surge of migrants that are coming to the country. This is nothing new. This is just a seasonal bump that we would expect every given year. Don't look behind the curtain, okay? Don't look behind the curtain. Good morning, the one who, aka the one who tubes. Dawg Knight chilling like a motherfucker. Good, okay, cool. I like that you're chilling. That this was a seasonal surge, just absolutely expected, just happens all the time. This is just the time of year that people start heading towards the border, right? Seasonal bump. They call it a seasonal bump. Well, I think the Washington Post, which I refer to as the Washington Compost, and that's not even original to me. I think I got that from Mark Dice or somebody. The Washington Compost has published the March numbers for the people coming to the border, the seasonal bump, so to speak. And apparently the new CPD, which is something, I don't know what that stands for, figures prove that Biden was lying when his puppeteers told him to call the border crisis a mere seasonal bump. Now, this is from my favorite resource, the Ace of Spades blog, but it is sourced via there's Glenn Kessler and Washington Post. What is this article? Hang on, I didn't even put this one out there. Let me see this one real quick. Oh yeah, okay. We'll do the Twitchy one too. Twitchy's funny. If you're not following Twitchy on Twitter, you should. Twitchy, I think they're at Twitchy. TWICHY. So here it is. Just a normal season of bump. So here's I have a few tweets here. Here's one. I'll use the actual tweets. Here's one from Nick Miroff. Now, Nick Miroff as a Washington Post reporter covering immigration enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security, former Washington Post Latin America correspondent. So, and then go Slugs, which is some probably minor league baseball team. He says new CPB published March numbers showing. Well, let me make this so you can even see it. Holy crap! Get back on the screen there. There we go. I think you can see it in 3, 2, 1 now. Published March numbers showing 172,331 taken into custody. It's interesting he doesn't say what has been taken into custody. That would be illegal immigrants, but you're not allowed to say that. The most in nearly 2 decades. Because remember, border crossings were over the last 2 decades had been generally going down for, every year. And then when Trump got in office, they were going down again. But then there was that big spike in 2019. Remember when the caravans started coming in? Remember the caravans? And there was a big spike, and it was almost like they were trying to create a crisis for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's like, hey, no, we're going to finish the wall. We're going to slow this down. And by 2020, he got it under control, right? So here's the graph. Okay, here's the graph. Let me put it at full screen so you can see it. So here's 2018, which is the gray line right here. It's still around 50,000, but that's how many. This is taken into custody, by the way, or encounters. And then 2019 right here, and this is where they had the big old, the caravans and the spike there. But then it went way back down to normal, right? There was a spike there, but wait a minute. 2018, there was no seasonal spike. Why wasn't there a seasonal spike in 2018? And 2020, that supposed seasonal spike actually dipped a bit. And then here in the blue, we got 2021. Whoa, that thing's going straight up like a motherfucker. Oh, when did that look at this, because it was up a little bit. It was getting a little heavier as the inauguration was getting closer. And look at this, January. What a coincidence. January, that shit just went, whoa, straight up, right? Fascinating. Now this guy continues. Again, this is a Washington Post reporter. Blue line here shows the increase in unaccompanied minors, with 18,890 taken into custody in March, which is a record. Again, let's look at the graphs. 2018, okay, there were a few unaccompanied minors. Yeah, okay. 2019, yes, that was probably along with the caravan and people percent of people. It's just over 12,000 at its peak. 2020, whoa, that's way down below there, almost down to zero in April of a year ago when this spike happened. But there's blue, whoa! From January up, just exploding. That doesn't look like a seasonal spike now, does it? Doesn't seem like a spike. And then the increase in family unit members last month was the steepest, 187%. Now remember, here's the weird thing too, because look at this one. This one looks weird because this is what do they call this again? Wait a minute, let me look at this. Increase in family unit members last month was steepest, 178%, but levels remain below 2019. Now, I don't understand that. What family unit members? This is meaning full families? So during the migrant caravan time, apparently there were more family units coming, and so, but the percentage, the rise, this straight up upward trend, looks like if it continues under that trend, doesn't look like that's gonna go right. Whoa, that's gonna go way up above that, doesn't it? I guess we'll see. Even though Biden has told people not to come. Wait a minute. Let me fix that. Because I said that, and then I thought, I better make this a little more accurate. When Joe Biden told them not to come, you know what I'm saying? Wow. Nobody, not me. PDawg, you should have checked I should have checked you out sooner. Your show is fun. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Nobody, not me. Hey, I said it right. I was yelling that out. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody. I'm a fun guy as opposed to a fun guy, which would be like a mushroom or something. I'm not one of those. All right. So, now it's funny because someone down here, hilarious. Ignore the spike under Trump until a bigger one came along. No, nobody ignored the spike under Trump. Why do you think they why they were getting in trouble in 2019? Remember, what year was that what's her face? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went down to the border and took some photo op shots. Wasn't that 2019 when they were having all the problems? And, they were ripping babies from their mother's arms. Yeah, no, they weren't. Remember the little girl that they isolated a picture and put her on Newsweek looking up at Trump, that little girl, remember? And that was the big thing because she was crying while the Border Patrol, they had a video of her crying while Border Patrol was, questioning or whatever. Do you know that, maybe you don't remember this, but that little girl and that mother, they weren't separated. They let them go on their way. They kept them together. But they kept talking about it because they were talking about, they're separating. They're ripping these babies from their mothers. And then they weren't separated because they never put her in jail. But, I got a feeling, and also ripping their babies or children from their parents, as we may know, the human trafficking smuggler people, guys that, they're shitty people across the border that make a lot of money from these people desperately trying to cheat their way into the United States. Sometimes they just borrow children. Oh, wait, they have a whole bunch of children that they keep and steal and whatnot and say, here, if you cross the border with a child, you'll be way better off. And then they get over here and they're like, how do we even know this is your child, motherfucker? Plus, you got to go to jail. So, sorry, we're going to put the kid in a nice little facility over here, which now those facilities are, 700% above capacity? Because of this? Oops, wait. Come on. Because of this? And because of this? 18,000 in 1 month. A record. Now, they said that's a record. Is that a record for all times ever? A kind of company minors? Well, of course, when you just throw them over the fence or drop them over the fence, maybe that they think that's the easy way to do it. I don't know. So let's see. What else did I have something else about this? Hang on a second. I'm going to there's my face. Let's see. Oh, but Glenn Kessler, he's the fact checker at the Washington Post. Remember him? Glenn Kessler. Although he did give Biden 4 Pinocchios on a couple things recently. So I have a teeny tiny little more respect for Glenn Kessler, at least for one day. He's still a jackass. Anyway, Glenn Kessler feigned shock that the Biden White House line pushed by the Washington Post on the border crisis was in fact a bald-faced lie. Because, the Washington Post wrote a story that this surge in people coming across the border was, they wrote a big story that it was, this is just a myth. This is just a seasonal surge. Thank goodness Donald Trump is no longer in the White House. Remember how badly he screwed up on illegal immigration at our southern border? What a relief. What a relief it is to have Joe Biden as president now. And to know that the illegal immigration crisis has been solved. As the Washington Post reports that the number is showing 172,331 taken into custody, the most in nearly 2 decades, right? So anyway, remember this though? Well, here's the article from the Washington Post. I'm not going to read it, but I got an archived article talking about this. This guy, same guy talking about this. Well, now, and then they're showing the March numbers, but here's Glenn Kessler. Glenn Kessler, the Washington Post fact checker. Well, I guess the Biden White House line that this is the usual annual migration surge at the border is Well, I'm going to translate this. He says no longer operative. Here, let me rephrase that for you, Glenn. I guess the Biden White House line that this is the usual annual migration surge at the border is bullshit. Anyway, good morning, Clockwork Rex. What's up? I woke up laying sideways in my bed this morning. And you had a beer there? What does that mean? I don't know. But welcome to the show. If you're new, by the way, anyone who's new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the little bell thingy so that you get notifications. Follow me on any social media it's up here, at PDawgKnight right there, except for Instagram. On Instagram, I'm Yes That Marty, but my Instagram isn't that interesting. I don't post that much there. Twitter is where I'm active. I post there a little bit. And then I also post videos on YouTube when I make videos. YouTube, BitChute, Trovo is streaming, Rumble, Library. I'm on everything. Anything I'm on, I'm at PDawgKnight except for Instagram. So there you go. And I have a Facebook page for PDawgKnight, but I don't use it. And I have my personal Facebook page, and I don't use it. So fuck that. Hello, Charlie A. Nice to see you back. Nice to have you here, Charlie, as always. All right. Anyway, so Glenn Kessler, I just can't believe that they weren't telling the truth. Yeah. Do they have a lie counter for Joe Biden yet? If they started one, because they started one for Donald Trump, I think the day one he got in office. And Joe Biden lies a lot too, so maybe they should have a little lie counter for Joe Biden. Anyway, he continues. Better version of chart with link. Oh, well, thank you, Glenn. There's another word for it, Glenn. Let's see if you can figure out. Here's a hint. 3 letters, rhymes with tie. Yeah. And so Glenn Kessler's finally figuring out they're lying, and a lot of people are giving him shit, and so I'll leave the Twitchy link up there. All right, let's move on. I've been going on a rant today. I thought I was going to be able to get through all these tabs. Let me see if I can get through the rest of the news here. Okay, we got, and this is going to be a little bit random. Oh, Ted Cruz. Some people love him, some people hate him. Sometimes he's right, and sometimes he's wrong. But he's definitely interesting. Okay, he's definitely interesting. Thank you, GunFox61. Before I even click that button with the sponsors, thank you for sponsoring the show, GunFox61, as you always often do. And GunFox61,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
GunFox says, I can solve the border problem very easy and hire a ton of veterans. A few hundred... A few hundred MG42 and 88 flat cannon towers. They work. Just ask the Russians. The opinions expressed on the Morning Night Live are not all opinions of the host or the Morning Night Live. We just read them. Good morning, Gunfox. Thank you for being here. And if you guys are interested, we have a Discord server that Gunfox is the ever-loving, ever faithful administrator of it. And the link just popped up there in the chat if you want to join our Discord server. We post a lot of news. We post links to the show if you miss it. And everything that you could ever want is in the Discord server. All right, so thank you. All right, so Ted Cruz says that Dr. Fauci has a lot to answer for. Oh, you think? Saying his predictions were wrong over and over again. Yes, and that's why we must resist Faucism. Cups, t-shirts, and hats at PDawgKnight.live. Okay, thank you again. Oh, Gunfox61, thank you. They were wrong over and over again. Do tell Senator Cruz. Republican Senator Ted Cruz sat down with the Daily Caller and gave his take on Dr. Anthony Fauci's prediction of disaster for Texas after the state loosened COVID-19 restrictions. 3 weeks after the lifting, so far the state's cases are at a record low. Well, congratulations, Governor Abbott. Cruz told Daily Caller White House correspondent Anders Hagstrom that Fauci has a lot to answer for due to his prediction. I'm going to leave. This might be a little longer than I want to deal with. Yeah, it's 8 minutes long. But you know what? This link will be in the links after the show at the one link that has all the links in the description down below after the show. Good morning, Sapphire Dragon. How you doing? Yeah. How many things have Fauci been wrong about or changed his position on to completely the opposite of the prior position? And sometimes because he was lying, sometimes because he was wrong, sometimes because it was just a hunch. Give me a break. All right. That's that title. Let's see. Why did I have this? Oh, I have a whole thing. I was going to get into the NBA versus the WNBA because the WNBA players, again, basically just complaining about their salaries. Remember when, I don't even remember, what was the basketball player that was talking about this the other day and he got a little bit of shit for it? Can't remember who it was, but this is kind of a whole rundown of the difference between the NBA and the WNBA: revenue, salaries, viewership, attendance, and ratings. Now, the WNBA is in its 25th year this way. I'm gonna keep this short. The WNBA is in its 25th year this year, and the players are upset that they don't make more money, and they see the NBA players' salaries, and they think, well, we're playing the same game. Why can't we be paid more too? We have a higher percentage of the revenue from what the league draws in revenue, because the NBA players' revenue or share of revenue is higher than the WNBA players. Draymond Green, that's correct. Thank you, Infamous One, and welcome to the show. And Spambot 22, good morning. There's a small problem when you talk about sharing more of the revenue from the NBA versus sharing the revenue from the WNBA. The problem with the WNBA is in its 25 years of existence, it has lost money. I should say 24 years because this is the 25th season. In its 24 years in existence, the WNBA has lost money all 24 years. The WNBA is subsidized by the NBA, by the revenue that the NBA players bring in. The revenue that NBA, $7.4 billion. Revenue, WNBA, $60 million with an M dollars versus $7.4 billion for the NBA. So the average salaries in the NBA, $6.4 million versus $71,000. Ticket price for you can charge a lot for tickets in the NBA, $89 a game. In the WNBA, $17.42 is the average ticket price, and they give more than half of their tickets away because people aren't coming. And then you give you this highest NBA salary versus the highest WA, blah, 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 blah. But here's another thing. Viewership. NBA Finals in 2019, 15.14 million people watched the NBA Finals. In 2018, now I don't know why they're comparing different years, but still, for the WNBA, 231,000 viewers. Average attendance at the NBA, 18,000. Average attendance at the WNBA, 6,768. And of that attendance, I would guess a large part of that are free tickets that are given away, or corporate sponsors that buy a bunch of tickets and give them to little kids. I know that's the way it is in the Lynx game. The Lynx is one of the most successful franchises in the WNBA, at least for a while there. Do you realize that the team that has won the most WNBA championships, the Houston Comets, doesn't even exist anymore? And as far as the ratings for WNBA Finals versus NBA Finals has an 8.8 rating. WNBA a 0.6 rating. And that's a 200% increase at the time. Highest viewed game, 18.7 rating, reached 29.04 million viewers. Now, I don't know if that was the year that might have been the year that the last year the Lynx won it. So, and here's the other thing, they say, well, we want a higher percentage of revenue. Well, our revenue doesn't make us a profit. So, you're wanting a higher revenue. Well, part of the reason your revenue doesn't make a profit is because your salaries are probably higher than they're supposed to be. They would be for any other venture. But because the NBA completely subsidizes the WNBA, it still exists for its 25th year. And the argument that, we should be making the same kind of money, the same kind of percentage or whatever that the NBA players are making. Really? Should the G League also be demanding more pay because they should be making more money? Oh, the idea that they're playing the same game? No, they're not. If they're playing the same game, the WNBA teams would be playing against NBA teams. No, you're not playing the same. Oh, you mean the same name of the game and rules and whatnot? Because you're not playing the same game. In fact, WNBA games, I couldn't name a WNBA team that could be the top high school boys AAU team. Not one. Wouldn't have a chance. Be lopsided and it would be ugly. Okay? Now, doesn't mean I'm disparaging the WNBA. I'm a basketball fan. I will watch a WNBA game and enjoy it. I've been to several. When the Minnesota Lynx were a championship caliber team, I went to several games. Great women athletes playing at a high level for women athletes, and it's been enjoying. But I'm not even sure what you were talking. If you were talking about the WNBA, I've seen them need more clothes. Oh, good God. Good morning, Gamer Feline. How you doing? Also, T-Ball. What's up? They're not playing the same game. If you're, the equal pay thing. Oh, yeah, we want equal pay. And I'm going to go back and talk about Megan Rapinoe complaining about that they aren't paid as much as the men, when actually the women's national teams paid more than the men's national team, or they made more money than they were compensated more than the men's national team. She keeps telling that lie that they make less. Oh yeah, they make less in bonuses per game because the men only get bonuses per game. The women's contract starts out at $100,000 salary before they step on the field, and it's guaranteed for all 20 players, whether they play or not. You make the women's national team, and you get pregnant 3 months in, you get pregnancy leave and still get paid, guaranteed. The men, on the other hand, if you make the team, and there's no guarantee that there's going to keep a roster of 20 people. But if you make the team and you go do an event and you only play, like say the event, you have to play 3 games and you only pay 2 of them, the individual player only plays 2 of them. Guess what? You only get paid for the games you play in. So you make the trip, you take, do all the stuff that you're supposed to do, but you don't get in that one game. You don't get paid for that game. You only get paid for the game that you made it into. The women's soccer national team has so many guarantees and guaranteed salary and all this stuff that, yes, they have a lower bonus per game. That's why whenever Megan Rapinoe goes up in front of the president's podium and says, well, for every game we win, we make less than the men. She is absolutely lying to you. She is a liar. She was there when they went through the lawsuit against the USSF, United States Soccer Federation, and the judge wrote out a very plain written judgment that explained why first of all, you're wrong that you make less money than the men. And that's the contract you negotiated. Now, if you want to go to the same type of contract the men have that has no guarantees, no health care, no benefits, no paid leave, nothing, and just go strictly on games you play, hey, they offered that to you. They offered that to the women's team. And the women's team negotiators rejected that for the guaranteed salary, guaranteed 20 players, guaranteed health care, guaranteed paid leave, sick pay, and this and that, and what the third. So you're going to sue after you figure out that if you had the men's contract, you would have made more money? Yeah, that's not how contracts work. Not at all. And in fact, you know what else is weird about that? So they wanted to be paid like the men's contract after they already realized, oh, they could have made more. But if the men's team would have had the women's contract, they also would have made more. So maybe the men should sue for equal pay because they got paid less per game. All right, enough about sports. I saw that. Who said something? Clockwork Rex, I saw you there. How you doing, by the way? All right, let's move on. All right, this couple little things left over. This is interesting. Another lawsuit. Apparently, this lovely woman, who's a photographer, does weddings in the state of New York, is suing the state of New York. And it's not what you think. Christian photographer files lawsuit against New York non-discrimination law. This is interesting. This is going to be interesting. Think about baking cakes, okay? Think about baking cakes. You know where this is going. This woman is facing steep fines for religious writings on her company website. A New York wedding photographer is taking Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration to court over state laws that threaten her with fines and jail time for her religious beliefs about marriage. Emily Carpenter filed a lawsuit against New York Attorney General Letitia James over state non-discrimination statutes that Carpenter said compel her to violate her religious beliefs about traditional marriage. Get this. By making her publicize photos of same-sex weddings on her website. The law requires her to create photographic collections on her website celebrating same-sex weddings because she celebrates opposite-sex weddings. Violating the law could result in tens of thousands of dollars in fines. The state is taking her business license or even jail time. Those are the possibilities. The statute also forbids Carpenter from publishing any sort of editorial stance explaining her religious beliefs about marriage on her website. Carpenter said in an interview that her beliefs are inseparable. Oh, is that Letitia James or is that her? That must be her. I'm not sure now. We'll find out in a minute. Where was I? Oh, here we go. Oh, her name's Emily Carpenter. I don't know if that's Letitia James or is that Emily Carpenter picture. It looks like it might be Letitia James. The state also forbids Carpenter publishing any sort of editorial stance explaining her religious beliefs about marriage on her website. Carpenter said in an interview that her beliefs are inseparable from her work as a wedding photographer and that the laws are violating her First Amendment rights. This is going to the Supreme Court. My faith has been really integral to me as a person, but also to my business and the way I operate it and the artwork that I create, Carpenter said. My faith is really the lens through which I view my art. Essentially, the only options New York State has left me are to violate my faith, violate the law, or close down my business, he said. All artists should be free to choose the messages they promote. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. How you doing? The lawsuit filed in District Court of New York seeks to have the court declare that the non-discrimination laws are unconstitutionally vague and violate the First and 14th Amendment. These laws do not simply state what Carpenter does, they dictate what she says. The lawsuit states Emily is already willing to work with clients no matter who they are, including those in the LGBT community. But not satisfied with equal treatment, New York officials demand ideological purity that Emily violate her conscience by professing the state's approved view about marriage. The legal clash comes as courts reckon with tensions between the expanding non-discrimination law and the rights of religious believers. James' office did not respond to a request for comment about the lawsuit. So, yeah, I don't know if that's Letitia James or is that her. But anyway, holy shite. Forces her to make equal whatever on her. Oh, my God. Go to hell. Go to hell. FTG New York State. This is not even that day. Christianity is so last millennium, we have scientism to follow. Get with the program, camera lady. Oh, that is funny. Anyway. Oh, here's I don't know if you saw this, exclusive. What wasn't in Hunter Biden's book? How do I get this shit off my screen? I don't want that there, but it's there. All right. Anyway, we'll put it back up. The Daily Mail, always entertaining. Let's make this so you can see it on the page. What wasn't in Hunter Biden's book? How he got unauthorized Secret Service protection, begged Joe to run for the White House to salvage his own reputation, and made porn filled with prostitutes. Didn't tell about that. Forensic experts proved that the laptop is the president's son. Oh, it's not a Russian conspiracy? This is a funny article. Here's a list of things. How he begged here's some things that were not in the book. How he begged his father to run for president in 2019 to salvage Hunter's own reputation. Well, that's a good reason to run for president, isn't it? How he repeatedly dodged police action against him despite constantly dealing with drug problems and prostitutes and having multiple run-ins with law enforcement. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing how you can stay out of trouble when you're the vice president's son. Don't they have a thing about black people being in jail for possessing crack? And boy, Hunter Biden has evidence of it. Hunter was guarded by a Secret Service agent while on a 2018 drug and prostitute binge in Hollywood, despite not being entitled to protection at the time and amid denials from the federal agency. So he got Secret Service protection while he was smoking, or what did he do? He was sniffing coke off some hooker's ass? Joe Biden was afraid his text conversations with Hunter were being hacked, even as they discussed his White House bid. Those got to be interesting. And how Hunter's laptop is brimming with evidence of apparent criminal activity by Hunter and his associate, including drug trafficking and prostitution. That's not the only thing you got for Burisma, huh? Huh? Why did my thing just reset there? Oh boy, I hope that doesn't mean that this thing's going wacky again. Yeah, there he is in his glory. Yeah, he made porno films and shit. Oh, what the hell? I don't know if I want to see. Okay, these are the. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, you get the picture. You got a little too many pictures there. I don't know if I can even show that on YouTube. But nobody was naked, and there were no nipples or vagines, so that's okay. Some idiot in the New York Times wrote a article, and I'll just put it up. I haven't even read the opinion. How I helped lead the gun control movement. It's asking the wrong questions. Okay. This is now look. Because he's with the Brady. What is it? Brady Center or Brady? What do they call it? There's a whole center for the people, the Brady bill. I haven't read this, so I'm not gonna go through it. Let's see. What do I also got here? This is just all right. Let's finish with this because it's time for me to go, and this will be a good way to finish up. This is about Biden and guns. We're just gonna go through the article. This guy, I tell you. Joe Biden calling the guns a public health crisis. Hey, where have we heard that before? I remember. Joe Biden rolled out his gun-grabbing plan at a press conference Thursday, calling gun violence a public health crisis, which should send a chill up the spine of every gun owner in America. Because you know what else was a public health crisis? COVID. But that was actually a public health crisis. Good morning, Isabella De La Cova. I think it's lovely that he's got protection while he's getting high and getting on off. Yeah, I tell you. Welcome to the show, by the way. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Johnny Hellcat with a 357 because Hunter Biden has guns. Hunter Biden wrote an autobiography. Pre-orders are open for She Told Me She Was 18, the Hunter Biden story. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. And Johnny Hellcat!
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, yeah. Oh, by the way, Matt Gaetz. Oh, I got to talk about him on Monday. He should have been in yesterday's show with the old FTG show. If you saw the Venmo notes or whatever, that when you send a Venmo and you put notes in it, and you send Venmo to the other dude who was in trouble for this shit. Matt Gaetz is, let's just say, remember, now look, I employed the 5-day rule for Matt Gaetz, and I'm beginning to believe that that was a good idea because I didn't want to defend him, but I didn't want to absolve him. I just said, if this shit really happened, FTG Matt Gaetz may be showing up next Thursday in the FTG show. Just saying. Anyway, so, yeah, calling this a public health crisis, that should scare everybody. Quote, but also today we're taking steps to confront not just the guns, but what is actually a public health crisis. Nothing I'm about to recommend in any way impinges on the Second Amendment. That is a lie. Their phony arguments suggesting that these are Second Amendment rights at stake from what we're talking about. Later in the remarks, he added, for a fraction of the cost of gun violence, we can save lives, create safe and healthy communities, and build economies that work for all of us, and save billions of American dollars. Really? How the hell can you do that? You're talking about you can save billions, but you're spending trillions. So, yeah, it's like just something you'd flip at a stripper in a club, your son would. Anyway, later, let's see, after what our country has been through over the last year with the endless COVID-19 lockdown orders, the words public health crisis are very ominous indeed. Tin pot dictators in governors' mansions across the country have used those words to impose the most draconian, not to mention unconstitutional, and extra legislative regulations our nation has ever seen. In Ohio, for example, Governor Mike DeWine, who calls himself a Republican, had used an obscure bit of the Ohio Revised Code to close schools, order mask and lockdowns, shutter private businesses, and change the rules for the primary election on the fly. DeWine has defended his actions, saying that state law allows the Department of Health, public health crisis, anybody? The Department of Health to have supervision of all matters relating to the preservation of life and health of the people and have the ultimate authority in matters of quarantine and isolation. Aside, the Ohio legislature recently revised the language in the ORC and clipped DeWine's wings to some extent, but the governor still has rather broad power to mandate all sorts of policies. Well, if guns are a public health crisis, then while Ohio has thus far only used the broad health department authority to deal with the pandemic, what's to stop DeWine, who is a Senate co-sponsor of a bill reestablishing the so-called assault weapons ban with Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Schumer in 2004, from declaring a public health emergency on guns? They're a public health emergency, citing the health department's mandate to preserve the life and health of the people. Other gun-grabbing governors could do the same. God only knows what kind of powers the Biden administration might dig up in the gajillion-page federal code. Conservatives have been warning about the slippery slope that could result from these declarations of public health emergencies. Government tyrants have been getting away with using the powers not granted to them by the legislature to impose whatever mandates their authoritarian hearts desire. Sometimes, as in the case of Governor Andrew Cuomo, grandma killer, nursing home order with deadly consequences, the court unfortunately, have been slow to step in and inconsistent in their rulings, allowing the unconstitutional government orders to continue apace. I fear it's not only a matter of time before someone gets the idea to regulate gun ownership by declaring a public health emergency. Is that what Biden's up to with this language that he's using? Time will tell, but don't be surprised if whoever's running the show at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue tries to make an end run around Congress to push through emergency orders and confiscate guns from those deemed a health risk. Beginning with anyone who attended a Trump rally on January 6th. My firearms were unfortunately lost in a tragic boating accident, so I don't have to worry about this. But you should. You should worry. You should go boating with people who have guns. Okay, I got to go. Good morning, Woodcutter, excuse me, I pronounced that wrong. And also Ken Lee, I am glad you're here. Unfortunately, we're near the end of the show. I don't know if you've been here for a while, but welcome to the chat at least. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to thank you all for being here today. But before you do anything, please hit the like button before you go. That's very important. And also, if you have time, share the stream either through social media or that little arrow down there will give you choices of the social media to send it out on. And if you really like the show, you can always be a sponsor of the show. There's all kinds of ways to do that. SuperChats and Streamlabs and Venmo and Cashapp. We will, we appreciate it all, and we will tell your message to the people all around the world. All around the world, and I can't find my baby. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed the show, and like I said, click that like button before you go. I gotta go. My name is P. Oh, wait a minute. Almost forgot. For those of you new here, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for our friends in the non-America world, as in the Western Hemisphere. Everyone else, you know the deal. You know the thing.
You know the thing.
Anyway, thanks everybody. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.